Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we talk about all things financial literacy, and today is going to be a little bit different than most videos. I was actually sitting here trying to start a new video and pick a new topic, but I was in the midst of actually looking at getting pre-approved for an auto loan. So, I decided to kill two birds with one stone. Why not just document this process as I'm doing it, so I can also take care of this and also get some work done. Little backstory, I had a situation with the vehicle that got totaled out a couple of weeks ago. And just so you know, if you guys ever get a payout from the insurance company and it's way less than the value of your car, do something called comparable comps. Get like a Google spreadsheet, give them all the cars of the same make and model in your area with the same mileage, show them that price, and they'll up the price. They offered me like $6,000. And then I completely refused that, came back, got $12,000 from the adjuster, which was a little bit above the actual value that the car was at. I might make a video on that one day, but to get to the point is I was able to get $12,000 from that. I also had a personal claim that was another like $6,000. So it was about $18,000. And then I was going to put up around $10,000 of my own dollars that I had saved, and I was going to get a new vehicle. So with that being said, I really have the cash to purchase the vehicle outright, but I was still waiting on the last $6,000, and it might take like a 5, 6, 7 days or so. But I was curious, like, since there's no prepayment penalty for the auto loan, what if I just got it through NavyFederal and then just paid it out before I had to actually pay any interest? So seemed like an interesting idea. There's a good chance I probably won't use it, but why not just try it? I mean, what's the worst that can happen? So I did contact NavyFederal to verify some information. I'll probably go over that in the course of making this video, but I kind of wanted to just show you guys what I was working on. So the auto loan rates can be as low as 4.09% APR for new vehicles. And then here are new and used car loans. They let you know that the decision is in seconds in most cases. Pre-approvals are good for 90 days. So that's what I was told. Within 90 days, if I don't use it, it just gets voided. So it's okay if I don't actually use the pre-approval. And then these are the different interest rates that you get depending on if you have a new vehicle at 36 months, 37, 61. Of course, if I did pick it, I would pick 36 months because I'm fairly certain I would just pay the car outright, and I don't want to pay any interest if I don't have to. So that's kind of the gist of what I was working on right now. There's also some information about auto loan eligibility and some information that you could check here, but it's pretty much the exact same thing that you would expect. Of course, you have to be a member, and they will ask you for some information that, why not? Let's just go through it in real time, and you guys can actually see me do it. There was a screen I want to get to that talks about the pre-approval. So let's jump to that, and then let's just get into the process and just see where this goes. So this was the screen that I was talking about. It gives some information on the NavyFederal auto loan pre-approval. You could negotiate a better sales price than with the dealer, which of course, I hate going to car dealerships. I really do. I've worked in them. I don't like going in the car dealerships. The thing I like to do, get pre-approved. You get your check, you buy the car, you're done. You don't have to deal with anybody. A lot of our hard inquiry removals come from people who had their credit shotgunned by car dealerships. So of course you want to avoid all of that nonsense. So it says step 1, you gather the following information to submit your application. Contact information for applicants, if there's a co-applicant, phone number, email, current housing. If you have trade-in information, the amount you expect to finance, the length of the term, and you submit your application, you receive your loan check once you've been pre-approved, and then you can take the loan check to your dealer once you're ready to buy. So this is the process, and let's just get right into it. Let's see what happens. All right, so this is the process. Apply for auto loan. So you can choose from your auto loan type. Now I'm just going to look at pre-approval. I have an idea of the vehicle, but I don't want to actually do all of that where I put the information in. So pre-approval is a great step if you're still shopping and haven't selected a vehicle to purchase. It gives you flexibility and negotiation power. dealership purchases only. So some overseas dealers don't accept pre-approval loan checks. Please verify that the dealership will accept pre-approval loan checks before completing the application. So I've already done that. I have a pretty good idea about the dealership that I'm going to be going to, but I also have 3 backup options in case it doesn't work out there. Finance a new vehicle, and that's if you found it, and then refinance. So let's just go to pre-approval and hit continue. The next step is vehicle loan and info. So what type of vehicle are you looking to purchase? I would say that it's going to be new with less than 7,500 miles, 2023, 24, or 25. I am not doing a trade-in. And then they want to determine the loan amount. Now, this is the interesting part. I'm curious just to see how much I can get, but I wonder if I should stay within reason. Why don't we just do 50,000? Why not let's just do 50,000. Let's just see. With no down payment and 36-month long term. That is a high car note. But look how low your interest is. And again, we're just going to see what happens. So your total loan amount can't exceed 125% of the vehicle's value determined by JD Power. So for example, if the vehicle's value is $20,000, your total loan amount can't exceed $25,000. Makes sense. Okay. Oh, so you can do basically 125%. So this is actually similar to the PenFed auto loan. Let's continue. All right, so right here, it's showing my personal information. I'll probably block this out, of course. Well, I have to. Address, my email, my phone number, and then employment status. And then I'm entering all my employer information. My employer information is actually just going to be my previous employer because, again, I'm self-employed, but I'm also paying myself with my paycheck stubs. So, I mean, I'm just going to use the same private employer that I previously had when I became a NavyFederal member, since that's the information more than likely they'll have on file. And then we're going to enter the total annual income. And then we're going to also enter the housing type. And now that we've entered the total annual income, the employer, the housing type, and we've entered the personal information, and I'm just saying it because I know I'm going to go back and block out the information. I just want you to know what the options were, and then you would enter, of course, whatever applicable to you. But as you guys know, I'm self-employed, but I'm just entering information based off of my private employer that I had previously because I haven't been paying myself for the entire year yet. Probably starting next year, if I apply for anything personal, I'll be using my business since that is my employer and be going off of that next year. So it says, please review and apply. Vehicle loan info, type of vehicle new. Our purchase price is going to be $50,000, no down payment for 36 months. And then of course, my personal information. Once again, I will be blocking that information. You won't see it, but address, email, phone number, employment status, length of employment, your total annual income, and your housing type. And then there is the disclosures, and I've read consent to credit pool. Let's look at that really quick. So NavyFederal uses credit reports to evaluate applications. If you have a credit freeze with a credit bureau, we will be unable to complete review. We encourage you to contact the respective credit bureau to have the freeze temporarily lifted. Once you have the freeze lifted, please return to proceed with the application. By continuing, you authorize NavyFederal to obtain consumer reports about you, to consider you for this application and any related applications and offers of NavyFederal products and services. You also authorize NavyFederal to obtain consumer reports to review any NavyFederal accounts you open. Now, from what I've seen, there are people who get hard pulls from TransUnion when they do this. There are people who get hard pulls from Equifax when they do this. Again, we're just going to see what happens because I'm doing this in real time. You guys are just seeing it play out live. All right, so let's go back and let's apply for this auto loan. Your decision is pending. You're almost done. There are just a few steps. Pre-approval loans will issue a check with your funds. Choose the preferred delivery method. Branch pickup, regular business mail, express. Let's just get it in the mail. So the application has been submitted and is under review. It says, thank you for applying. You'll receive a decision notification via email. A decision could be made on your request as early as 2 hours, but in some cases it can take up to 24 hours. You could also be contacted by email, e-message, phone, or text if we need more information. So this is our application number, our loan term, our loan, and it says if you're pre-approved, here are your next steps. Find the vehicle you would like to purchase, bring your pre-approval check to the dealer, fill in the year, make, model, mileage, and VIN number, sign the check, give the completed check to the dealer, verify that your name, your address, the amount financed, payment schedule, and vehicle information are correct. Electronically sign your loan documents. The interest rates received during the application process is based on the vehicle information. If you purchase a different vehicle, then your rates may change. I don't know what that means. It wasn't an instant decision. Again, we're just seeing this play out in real time. I did have some other things I needed to do today, which is kind of why I was trying to, speed up this process and just document it for you guys. So I'm going to give it a little while. I just got a notification. It just said that a hard inquiry was blocked on August 9th, 2024 because your TransUnion report is frozen. If this doesn't look familiar, it means someone tried to open an account in your name, NavyFederal Credit Union. My TransUnion credit report was blocked. That's probably why I didn't get an instant decision. I was actually trying to go to the TransUnion Service Center, and for whatever reason, it told me my account was temporarily suspended and I couldn't remove the freeze. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna call TransUnion. I'm going to manually have them remove the freeze, and then I'm gonna get back, and then we'll go from there and then see what we can do. I might have to even call NavyFederal and go that route. All right, so I guess we'll just wait and see what happens.
And how may I assist you today?
Yes, I was trying to temporarily lift the freeze on my TransUnion credit report. The problem is I was trying to log on through the website, but it said that for security reasons, I was unable to log in and do it. So one, I wanted to see if you could do it over the phone for me, but secondly, I wanted to see if I could also fix that so I can do it myself in the future. But now I'm gonna have to call NavyFederal, and I'm going to have to them know to maybe see if they can rerun the application. So we will do that next.
We were able to pull the credit for you, and it is routed to our lending team, so you should hear something back in the next 2 to 24 hours.
So NavyFederal was like a 7-minute call. They are easy, you know what I mean? Like, you just get in and out. Love it. Easy. All right, well, I got the hard inquiry, so they did pull my TransUnion credit report, and now we're just waiting. All right, and while we're waiting, I just pulled up my TransUnion FICO 8 score. It's 748 right now. My utilization was a little bit higher than what it should have been, so it brought it down a little bit, but this is as of July 13th. It actually will update again in a couple days. It actually went down slightly because of that hard inquiry, but it was a 765 at the time of applying, and then it dropped down to like a 764. It looks like I'm gonna stop this video. I'm gonna go ahead and edit it, and then when I get to the end, I guess I'll just record the end, and then we'll have our conclusion. So hopefully see you guys in a couple of hours, maybe a couple days.
3 hours later.
I just got back home. I did get this email several hours later. So the way that it worked for me, I had to actually call NavyFederal back, and they told me that I actually had a tentative approval, and they gave me a counter offer. So they actually gave me a counter offer for $30,000, and this is the email that I got. Congrats, you're pre-approved for an auto loan. Excellent news, your auto loan is pre-approved. You can review your tentative annual percentage rate APR when you get your loan document. This APR could change if the type of vehicle you buy is different from the one on your application, or the loan terms change. We'll list your final APR and monthly payment on your promissory note once you choose and buy your vehicle. Depending on how you choose to receive your document, we'll mail them with a check for your loan, or you can pick them up at a branch. If you choose branch pickup, go to a NavyFederal branch and bring a valid ID. So I didn't choose branch pickup. As you guys saw, I chose to have it mailed to me, so I won't be able to do that. And I called to actually see if that was an option while I was out, but it is not. And they have already gone through the process of sending this. It is about 6 hours later. a little later at nighttime. And again, I just got back home. So now that I did get the approval, let's log into the account so we can actually see this on NavyFederal.com. All right, so I'm logged into my Navy Federal account. This is the auto loan with the application number, and it's $30,000. Next step needed. Now that you are pre-approved, here are the steps. Find the vehicle you like to purchase, bring your pre-approval check to the dealer, find the year, make, model, mileage, and VIN of the vehicle on check, sign the check, give the completed check to the dealer, verify that your name, address, amount financed, payment schedule, and vehicle information are correct on the electronic promissory note. Electronically sign your loan document. The interest rates received during the application process is based on the vehicle information you provided. If you purchase a different vehicle, then your rates may change. While I was out, I did look at some vehicles in between time, and I'm pretty sure I could find something that was between 2023 to 2024 that meets all the criteria to keep the exact same APR. So I'll keep you guys updated. But yeah, the approval did happen. It didn't happen instantly, unfortunately, but we were given this counter offer. Again, I did have to call. No one actually contacted me and told me about this tentative offer. I had to contact them back and then find out that there was a tentative offer for $30,000, and then I had to accept. And then once I accepted, about 10 minutes later, it was approved. I was out. If I would have chosen the option to actually get the check from Navy Federal, I probably could have gone into a Navy Federal branch right before they closed, picked up the check. But again, I didn't. But yeah, it seems to be a pretty straightforward process. It was fairly easy other than the mistakes that I did make on my own. And yeah, I'll keep you guys updated with this process as it plays out. But I hope that this was very informative for you. And I did learn some good information about if I did decide to keep this loan and actually get the vehicle with it. So you can actually pay after 60 days have passed. If you do it before 60 days, they'll have to readjust your interest rate, which will probably go up. If I want, I could treat this like a pledge loan. I can actually pay it up to a certain percentage, and then I could just leave it. And then I'm just good. I could let my, for my credit, have it this account that's showing that I paid a majority of it off. It'll probably increase my credit score, and then keep it, for the rest of the few months and collect those on-time payments. So that may be an option. It's not a bad option. It frees up some of the money that I'm going to have. I have $30,000 right around there that I could have right in my pocket. I had about 28 that I was going to spend. I can take that, put it in some investments, pay the small percentage on this, and then when I get the return on my investments, I can pay this off. So I might do that because I did have some other things going on towards the end of the year where I might make a lot more money now. So yeah, it's kind of nice. It's pretty cool. Again, I'll keep you guys updated, but that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Again, this was different. Everything was in real time. Normally I would do all of this stuff, go through all the pains and go through all the motions and then come back, put it in a slideshow. But I'm glad I was able to do something a little bit different while I'm, active and moving throughout my daily life, trying to, get this stuff updated in real time. So I'm glad that you got to see that and see the mistakes. Hopefully this won't be such a long video. But again, thank you so much for watching, and you guys have a wonderful day.